Hallo, wie geht's? Ich heiße Anna und ich spreche nur ein kleines bisschen Deutsch. Bonjour, mon nom c'est Anna et contrairement à mon allemand, je parle français couramment. Bună, mă numesc Anna și astăzi vorbim despre limbi. Hi everyone, my name is Anna Mascara and today we are going to talk about how to learn a new language. Now, a lot of people have been asking me how I did it with German. Please don't quote me on my German, it's very rusty because I'm missing a lot of practice, but today I just want to share with you the tricks and really, I would like to say, the secrets that have helped me tremendously learning a new language. And what I'm hoping to achieve with this video is just to give you some tips or maybe inspire you to try some of my tricks and maybe it can work for you. And if it works for you, freaking awesome! We're gonna start off with my #1 tip on learning a new language, and that is find the reason why you want to learn it. Now, if you have to learn something and it's not by choice, so let's say if you come to Canada, I had to learn French. It was mandatory, we had to learn it. And you know, I wasn't really, I'm like, I don't want to learn French, it's gonna be hard, I'm not motivated. The trick here is learning a language is very difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It requires a lot of work, it requires a lot of practice, so if you can find a reason that touches you here, it will motivate you to learn the language. It's gonna make it much easier for you to stay up and practice it. It's gonna inspire you to go out there and just start speaking it, even if you're gonna make mistakes. And I find that it's really helpful. It can be a really simple reason, like my favorite band is Stromae and he's French, so I want to learn French so I can understand his songs. That's a reason. That's something that's gonna motivate you to want to speak it. Or like, you know what? My goal is to go to Germany next year, so I want to learn German because I want to be able to speak it there and like interact with people there and actually read all the direction and drive there, because if you don't know what that sign means, well, you're gonna get lost. So definitely give yourself a core personal reason why you want to learn that language, and trust me, it's gonna make it so much easier for you, so why not do it? My second advice for you when learning a new language is definitely find a tutor. I know some of you want to learn this by yourself. Even if you want to learn it by yourself, go on YouTube, go online, get some like lessons with a person speaking the language, because I find that this way you learn how the language flows, how the intonation of the language, how people move when they speak and when they interact with the language, with the pronunciation. I think this is key. This is what makes a difference between reading just like textbook and just listening and looking at someone. Because after that, let's say even if you don't know per se what the word means, just by looking at the person, how they interact and how they like dance to the language type of thing, you can make out what they mean. And I think that that's a huge plus to have, because you never know when you go to the country of your dreams and you know you learn all the textbook hardcore words and verbs and adjectives and whatnot, but at the end of the day, if someone's talking to you and you like, wait, I need to write it down so I can see what you're telling me, whereas, you know, I saw someone like, you know, like do this and that means, I don't know, that the hotel's that way or something like that. But definitely get a course with a person. I had a 1-year course in college with a lady that was from Berlin, so she was 100% German and I loved her. She was like the sweetest lady ever. And this brings me to my next point, which is when you're trying to learn a new language, get yourself a really good textbook and dictionary to go along so that you can do practice exercises every day or every time when you have a little like spare time here and there, just do a few verb exercises or just look through the dictionary and learn a new word. And this is a way to always be immersed in the language, and it's really important that you visually see how the language looks like on paper. Maybe they have a different alphabet, maybe their spelling is like insane, or like the wording is different. You need to see it. To complement the speaking and the listening, you need to actually see it. So I'm just gonna show you the book I had for my class. It is this one right here by McGraw-Hill. It's called Deutsch na klar Part 1, and it is a very, very good textbook. You have exercises, you have little fill in the blanks, little tests that you can do for yourself, and I think even at the end you had like keywords that you can memorize. to grow your vocabulary, honestly. And little pictures, and you have to like put like der Schreibtisch or whatever, der Schmetterling, which is butterfly. That's such a cool word, my god. And see, fill in the blanks with the pictures and then the verbs, and I think it was very helpful to have a textbook to follow along with what the teacher was telling me. And as for a dictionary, I opted for something very pocket size. I got this one. The reason why I decided to get such a small dictionary is because mainly I wanted to travel to Germany and I wanted something to put into my purse or in my luggage and just have with me all the time. And also, to be perfectly honest, a big dictionary, I kind of like, it looks a bit intimidating, whereas this one, like in class, you can just pull it out quickly and check the word that you don't know. And those were my reasons why I picked a small. But if you want a big one, mind you, get a big one if that's what you like. But I just wanted to let you know that there's also miniature size, and I think it's cute. My next tip for you is honestly what has helped me the most, hands down, all of these to learn German or any language, to be perfectly honest, and that is when you're trying to learn a new language, definitely check out music and movies. For me, it was Rammstein because I adored that band, and to be perfectly honest, not to like brag or anything, but when I studied German, the teacher told me when we had to read. I mean, I didn't understand anything I was reading, to be perfectly honest, but I knew how to read it, how to pronounce it, and she told me that I had no accent. She's like, wow, you sound like a German person reading. What's happening? Why do you speak it so fluently? Why do you put the intonations where they have to be? How come you know what that little squiggly SB thing means? And I honestly have to say it's because of Rammstein. This is a German band, German rock band, and what I used to do when I was younger is when I was listening to the song, I had this little thing that you have in CDs, but probably not anymore now because no one buys CDs anymore. I still do, old school. But basically you had the lyrics to the song in here. So what I would do is when the song was playing, I used to follow along with the lyrics. So by listening to what the singer was singing and by reading it, I learned how it's pronounced, how he emphasized each word, and also I learned new words that way. Like there's a website translator, Rammstein translator, where you have the lyrics in English and the lyrics in German side by side. So you knew exactly what the words meant. And that is how I grew my vocabulary, and that is how I learned how to pronounce things correctly and how to read things correctly in German. So definitely, like, if you're trying to read French, go for Stromae. He's amazing. Like, look up Allo Rondance. It's like really good. And follow with the lyrics. Or my other example is with movies. This one is Live House Berlin. It's the Rammstein concert in Berlin, but also you have some lyrics here of the songs, and the whole booklet is in German. So I read this when I was listening to the documentary because I wanted to understand what Till Lindemann was saying, because obviously everyone wants to know what Till Lindeman's saying because that guy is awesome. So basically, check out movies. If you want German movies, there's also a translated version and they're very good, so if you don't want to watch them in German, watch them in English. Run Lola Run is very good. If not, my personal favorite is Against the Wall, so Gegen die Wand, if you want to Google that. Awesome movie. If you want to see it, hands down, best one. And to be perfectly honest, people ask me how I learned English, because I learned Romanian, then English, then I came to Canada and I learned French and German. So how I learned English from Romania to here, honestly, dead honest, by watching TV. I learned it by watching Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, and other cartoons, and movies, and Spice Girls, and whatnot. And Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was really good. And Sakura the Card Captor, and that's how I learned English. I was never taught, like, properly how to speak English. I mean, I had some English classes, but I already spoke English because of watching TV. And that's how I learned it. So if I can do it, and I ain't bad, because now I'm studying in English in university, so it means I did good. It means TV is a really good teacher. So if you watch YouTube videos in English and podcasts, and if you listen to radio in English and to songs in English, you will learn the language eventually. It just takes time, so definitely give yourself time, but I highly suggest this method. I love it. It worked for me 1,000,000,000%. Just give it a try. And my last advice to you is pretty obvious, and that is practice. The main reason I lost my German, and I'm very upset at myself that I did, because I was able to like write big paragraphs of text and do presentations and speak German. I really hated that I lost it, but it was simply because I had no one to practice it with. No one in my family speaks German, none of my friends are German, and I just lost it because I didn't use it. So if you want to learn a language and if you want to keep a language, definitely practice it. So if no one around you speaks it, get a pen pal. I'm sure you can connect with people because of Skype and the internet and whatnot. You can connect with people all over the world. So go to like an online class or an online like community of people that want to learn a certain language and have like a talk buddy and have like, I don't know, like 30-minute conversation every 2 weeks or something just to speak in that language to practice. I think that is very important. Or get yourself like a pen pal and just write the language back and forth just to keep it. Because I find it so sad that you go through, that I went through, all that effort to acquire a new language, and at the end of the day, 3 years later, I completely forgot it, and I'm very ashamed of myself. And I really wish that you are not in this situation right now, because I still want to learn German and I want to relearn it. Right now that I have the base, it should be easier. But then again, you need to practice. So with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and definitely subscribe to me if you like what you see. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.